So we come now to Grand Prix cars of the 1950s and early 1960s. The Historic Grand Prix Cars Association always gathers together a great entry for the Silverstone Classic, and they've done it again. Page 20 and 21 of the race card shows you where they all are. So the race gets underway then, and they qualified on a completely dry track. Now in the wet, it could be rather different, but John Fairley from pole position it is who takes the lead. And then on the outside of him, number one, is Miles Griffiths in the Lotus 16. So they're the two in front as they head towards into your sight for the first time, Alistair.
Absolutely wonderful sight coming into Village, these Pre-66 Grand Prix cars. They're just such lovely little machines, and it's John Fairley, as you say, who leads. But Miles Griffiths, I think, is already up to second place as they turn through the left-hander at the loop. And then in third place, it looks like, yes, Michael Gans. I just delayed my comment there because he's up from 8th to 3rd on the first lap, so a very good start from Michael Gans.
Down the Wellington straight they come for the first time, and into the lead has gone Miles Griffiths, fired up after his Formula 2 win. He's got ahead. This really is untypical, let's say, because the Brabham is a rather newer car. The Lotus from 1958, the Brabham from 1964. 63, 64, and there's the Ferrari we caught a brief glimpse of there, number 13, the Ferrari 1512. So as they come through Woodcote for the first time, it's Miles Griffiths in the lead, and a battle on for second place. We've got the Cooper there, number 10 of Will Nuttall, going through on the inside of John Fairley and putting John Fairley down to third place, having started from pole position. So Will Nuttall is now second in the Cooper, off in pursuit of the Lotus 16 that leads back into your sight with the Ferrari behind them.
And into Beckett's, it is Miles Griffiths who leads from John Fairley, who's got back up into second place, just ahead of Will Nuttall, who's down into third, being challenged by Michael Gans as they go through Beckett's corner. And behind Michael Gans is car number 12 from, where's he from? Oh, row 5, Rudy Friedrichs, up to 5th place.
Yes, Rudy Friedrichs on form and could gain several more places in this race. And Sam Wilson also one to watch in the Lotus 18, just pulling out of the slipstream there of the Ferrari of Joko Lasacco as they're heading into Stoke Corner. But meanwhile, into Stoke Corner, it's Will Nuttall, who once more has an attempt at getting ahead of John Fairley. Will it stick this time? Maybe. They're side by side for second place as they head into Vale. And the leader is the Lotus. Second is, by the looks of things, Michael Gans, as though this fight going on between Will Nuttall and John Fairley is now for third place as they come through to complete their second lap. First racing lap, it's the Lotus 16 leading the way. And Miles Griffiths then is 1.5 seconds ahead of Michael Gans in the Cooper, the white Cooper, in second place. In third place, Will Nuttall. Fourth is John Fairley. Fifth is Rudy Friedrichs. Then we've got Sam Wilson in the Lotus 18, number 18 in 6th place. Joko Lasacco is 7th in the 1.5 litre car, the leading 1.5 litre car. Back with you, Alistair.
And through into the loop comes Miles Griffiths, so front engine leads all these rear engine cars behind him. Great drive, and then I think the next front engine will be Tony Wood, isn't it, in the Maserati Tech-Mech. So great drive from the leader. Second place past us was the Michael Gans, who's got ahead now of Will Nuttall.
So, yes, Michael Gans was ahead, as I said, with in second place, Will Nuttall in third. But Sam Wilson's the man on the move now. He was getting a few more places. They went through the loop just then. So Sam Wilson in the Lotus 18 got ahead of John Fairley. Behind John Fairley, we've got number 12, which is the Rudy Friedrichs Cooper T53. What about Peter Horsman? At the moment, he's only in 10th place, number 22. He's not, and Barry Cannell in 9th place.
And not far behind them is Michael O'Brien in 12th place past us. That's
magnificent progress in the back of the grid. Michael O'Brien then, the very last car on the grid, qualified out of session in the number 94 Brabham BT14, 1.5 litre Lotus twin cam engine car that was built for Formula 1 in 1964, really, 1964-65. So Michael O'Brien is going to make further progress, I would have thought. Michael Gans passing you in second place.
Yes, and Sam Wilson up to 4th. I'm not sure you had that on your side of the circuit.
Yes.
Yeah, oh right, okay. So he's got ahead of that sort of middle group of cars in the leading bunch.
So Miles Griffiths at the moment has a lead of, well, at the start of the lap of 1.4 seconds. A race for second place there. Michael Gans being challenged around the outside there by Will Nuttall, who goes through. So the older Cooper gets ahead of the slightly newer car. The Type 79 then dropped down to third place in the hands of Michael Gans, but Sam Wilson in the Lotus 18 is catching them. The number 18 Lotus 18, the first of the rear-engined cars designed by Colin Chapman. The Lotus 16 was the last of the front-engine Grand Prix Lotus, and that's at the moment leading the way, and doing so by quite a decent margin. So through they come. Lotus followed by two Coopers, followed by another Lotus, which is closing up on the two Coopers. The Lotus 18 driven by Sam Wilson. Then we've got John Fairley 5th, Rudy Friedrichs is 6th, Joe Sacco leading his class in 7th place. 8th, number 27, that's Tony Wood in the Tech-Mech Maserati. 9th is Peter Horsman, and 10th is Barry Cannell, who's got dropped behind Peter Horsman's Lotus 1821.
And Sam Wilson ahead of Michael Gans coming into the loop. Michael trying to get by on the inside on the tight line, and he's done well so far, but then has to drop back as they get to Aintree. So Sam Wilson up into third place, Michael Gans into fourth, John Fairley drops down to fifth from his pole position.
Michael O'Brien's rise up the order has brought him now to 14th place, number 94, in the Brabham BT14. Miles Griffiths' lead, still looking a pretty healthy one, 3.5 seconds at the start of this fourth lap, ahead of Will Nuttall. Now Sam Wilson is third. Can he do any more about closing the gap down? If you've been to the Silverstone Classic in recent times, you'll remember seeing Sam being a very successful competitor in the historic Formula Junior categories. And now in this Lotus 18, she races occasionally when time permits. It's not his car, but the owner allows him to race it, and he does so very effectively. So there we have number 12. There is Peter Horsman in the Lotus 1821, followed by Barry Cannell, followed by Tony Wood in the Tech-Mech Maserati, essentially a lightweight 250F Maserati, which arrived too late to save Maserati's Formula One hopes in 1958. Now Michael Gans has Sam Wilson right behind him.
Yes, Michael Gans managed to get past Sam on the run-up from Copse to Maggots, and then slipped through on the inside of Maggots. So I don't know whether maybe Sam made a small mistake at Copse and just lost a little bit of speed. And meantime, Michael O'Brien up to 12th now, moving his way through the mid-pack. Or, well, the front pack really, isn't it? Such a huge grid.
Right, so the place to swap back. Sam Wilson having to shadow Michael Gans, who gets a little bit crossed up there. That slowed him down slightly, but it's not prevented him from hanging on to the place, at least not for the moment. So the Cooper just ahead of the Lotus. The Lotus from 1960, the Cooper from 1964. Meanwhile, up front, the gap first to second, 1.1 seconds, a new fastest lap by Will Nuttall. And Andrew has news for us from the pits.
Yeah, sad news actually. Sid Hall has just retired his Cooper T66. Sid Hall raced these cars for 20 or 30 years. He says there's major handling problems. He thinks it's the rear shock absorbers. So Sid Hall is a retirement. And just on that Ferrari, that glorious Ferrari, let's not forget that for that year, 1965, Ferrari went back to a flat 12, so it's a flat 12 engine. It only gives about 220 brake horsepower, but it did finish second at Monaco in 65 with Lorenzo Bandini driving it. But it is a flat 12, not a V12.
As I said, earlier on, it is a flat 12, right. So the Sam Wilson-Michael Gans battle continues. The leaders have already lapped the Connaught V-Type. That's a car from the early years of the 2.5 litre Formula One, 1954-55. And Joe Colasacco in that Ferrari 1512, giving some more powerful cars. So it's Rudy Friedrichs just ahead of him, the 2.5 litre Cooper. But the Ferrari, of course, a later car for the 1.5 litre Formula One, as we've just been saying. For 1964 and 65, Ferrari painted their cars, the wheels of their cars blue, which is, I think, rather an attractive way, but they kind of gave that up when the 3 litre Formula One came in 1966. Will Nuttall last time around set the new fastest lap as he got the gap down between himself and the leader. They're passing you at the moment, Alistair, for third place. Yeah,
sliding through Beckett's and getting closer all the time, Will Nuttall. And also behind them, the battle continues. Sam Wilson now ahead of Michael Gans. So that's going backwards and forwards between the two of them every lap.
Yes, so we've got a Lotus leading a Cooper and another Lotus leading another Cooper. There is within the race a separate classification for the top 3 front-engine cars. Well, of course, the leader of the race is a front-engine car, which wasn't necessarily expected when that trophy was put up. We have to go quite a long way back to find another front-engine car. It will be Tony Wood in the Tech-Mech Maserati. He's running second of the front-engine brigade, and I'll dig deep to find somebody else who is driving a front-engine car, because it's quite a long way back. Peter Horsman there, you can see on the screen, the dark blue Lotus 1821 with a white nose cone, white band around the nose, around the radiator intake. Just got ahead of Joko Losacco in the Ferrari, who now has Barry Cannell in the red Brabham, in the Swiss racing colours, red and white, originally raced by Charles Virgil, the original owner of the car. And we have still just under 5.5 minutes to go. Will Nuttall another new fastest lap as he gets the gap down a little more.
Yeah, it's starting to get to the point where Will Nuttall could make a bid for the lead, because he's come right up behind the leader as they go down the Wellington Straight. They pass a slower car, but they've got a clear run into Brooklands.
Well, Miles Griffiths is determined to make it 2 wins in the day if he can, having had already the win in the Formula 2 race. Can he win in Formula 1 as well? Well, he turns through Brooklands into Luffield. The 1958 Lotus from the slightly later Cooper Will Nuttall of 1960, both built to the 2.5 litre Formula 1. Not a sight you often saw in the day. It was normally the Coopers leading the Lotus 16, if the Lotus 16 actually survived the race. They weren't terribly reliable cars. And so, well, the reason why Graham Hill left Team Lotus to go and drive for BRM, or one of the reasons that contributed to him departing. So he still leads then, Miles Griffiths, coming through Beckett's.
Yes, having to start to work very hard now indeed to keep Will Nuttall behind him, Miles Griffiths, as they leave Beckett's and head off past Chapel Curve and down onto the Hanger Straight once again. And good to see 2 young drivers. Michael O'Brien just got ahead of Ben Tilley. So Michael continues his charge up the field to 11th now.
Yes, and of course they've got a race tomorrow, and their grid positions will be influenced by the finishing positions in today's race, and that'll give Michael a chance of doing even better than he's going to end up in this race, which has 3 3/4 minutes to go. So the Cooper has got the lead now, I think, as they go down into Vale. The Cooper just in head on the outside line. Will Nuttall then, but Miles Griffiths is fighting back there side by side as they turn into the corner. Now they go into the right-handed element of Club. Will Nuttall leads. And I think he's going to get the better traction, get the power down better than the Lotus does. And so as they complete the lap, it's for the first time in the race, Will Nuttall leading, Miles Griffiths in the Lotus in 2nd place. Through Abbey, but Miles Griffiths is not giving up by any means, is he, Alistair, as they come back into your sight?
Absolutely not. Yeah, he's going tight into Village, looking for the right-hand side. Can he get through there? No, in fact, he overcooks it and spins. Miles Griffiths spins on the middle of Village, just a little bit too late on the brakes, and it looks like he's got the car, kept the car going, so he's dropped to 4th place. So now leading is number 10, Will Nuttall. 2nd place will be Sam Wilson, number 18. 3rd will be Michael Gans, number 79, and a slightly chastened Miles Griffiths in 4th place, number 1.
But if you don't try, you don't succeed, and he's certainly determined to try and get the lead back, but he wasn't able to do so, had the spin instead. That puts a different Lotus in 2nd place. It's the Sam Wilson car, number 18, that's now 2nd. Michael Gans in 3rd place, and Miles Griffiths dropping down to 4th place. And behind them we've got John Fairley back up to 5th place. He had a rather poor opening part of the race. Peter Horsman's now 6th, number 22. Rudy Friedrichs is 7th, number 12, Cooper. 8th is the number 3, Brabham and Barry Cannell. 9th is the number 13, Ferrari, Joko Losacco. And 10th is Michael O'Brien in the number 94, Brabham BT14. And there'll be time for one more lap, I think, after this one. Yeah.
We had a quick spin from Mark Daniel at Village, same place as the erstwhile leader, and I noticed the Scarab is blowing a lot of smoke, so I wonder whether there's a little bit of oil going down.
Which Scarab? So we've got 2, and one of them's running 3rd in the front engine class, I've worked out, Julian Bronson's car, but we've got the other one as well.
It's the lighter blue of the 2.
Oh.
I'll wait till it comes around and I'll tell you.
The second, third and fourth cars then, coming to the end of Hanger Straight into Stowe Corner. That's Miles Griffiths, the early leader now, having spun down to fourth place. He's still the leading front engine car driver.
It's Julian Bronson who's blowing the smoke, just coming up from Copse Corner towards me now, and yeah, it's coming from the engine area, so not looking too good for the Scarab.
Well, it's running third of the front engine cars, I reckon. Anyway, over the line to start the last lap. That goes Will Nuttall, number 10. In second place, Sam Wilson. Third, Michael Gans. Cooper Bristol's an earlier type of single-seater Cooper racing car. The Cooper Bristol being lapped by the Cooper Climax race leader. Number 12, Rudy Friedrichs, in his Cooper T53, just holding off Joe Colasacco in the later Ferrari 1.5 litre Formula 1 car. And not that far behind Joe Colasacco is, in which could become the leading 1.5 litre Formula 1 car, Michael O'Brien in the Brabham BT14.
Yes, and I think there's every chance that Michael will find a way through, because he's come right up onto the back now and he's exiting the loop. I think the Ferrari will probably pull away on the straight, got a little bit more power perhaps, but Michael, through the tight bits at the end of the straight, Brooklands and Luffield, may well be able to make his way past.
Running in class 12, which is a different class actually from Joe Colasacco, although they're both 1.5 litre Formula 1 cars. But the Brabham very much a budget price Formula 1 car. And if it's got a 1600cc engine, which it may have, then of course it wouldn't be a Formula 1 car. No, it's 1500, so it is a Formula 1 car. And can he get ahead of the Ferrari? Meanwhile, out front, passing you for the final time, is the leader.
Yes, untroubled through Beckett's goes our leader, Will Nuttall. Sam Wilson in second place. And Miles Griffiths comes through fourth behind Michael Gans.
Leader onto Hanger Straight for the final time. I reckon that Sam Wilson's getting a little bit closer, but not close enough to be able to challenge. In fact, Sam has just done the absolute best middle sector of this lap, of anybody in the race so far. But it's the Cooper of Will Nuttall that comes into the left-hander at the end of Vale, turning into club, in other words, coming into the second part of club. Will Nuttall just feeding in a little bit of opposite lock as he powers the car out of the corner and up to the checkered flag. Will Nuttall wins the first part of the Gallet trophy for Prix 66 Grand Prix cars. Second place goes to Sam Wilson. The gap at the flag and a new fastest lap goes to Sam Wilson at 2 minutes at 2.429 seconds. The lap 2:26.179, the fastest lap of the race. So Sam putting in a big effort there in the closing stages. Across the line, nose to tail, Peter Horsman gets just ahead of John Fairley on the last lap. So Peter Horsman, who qualified rather further back than we normally find him, but Peter coming up to finish in the Lotus 1821, number 22 in fifth place. So the winner, Will Nuttall, by 2.5 seconds from the closing Sam Wilson. Cooper ahead of Lotus 18, Michael Gans in the Cooper T79 in third place, and in fourth place Miles Griffiths with the first of the front engine cars, the Lotus 16. Peter Horsman, Lotus 1821, number 22, took fifth. Sixth, number 11, John Fairley with the Brabham. Seventh, number 3, also with the Brabham, Barry Cannell. Eighth with the Cooper, number 12, Rudy Friedrichs. In ninth place, from the back of the grid, number 94, Michael O'Brien with the Brabham BT14. And in 10th place, number 13, Joe Colasacco. So Michael O'Brien finishing the first of the 1.5 litre engine cars. Just confirmation of the result on the screen there. First, Will Nuttall, Cooper T53. Second, Sam Wilson, Lotus 18. Third, Michael Gans, Cooper T79. Fourth, Miles Griffiths, Lotus 16. Fifth, Peter Horsman, Lotus 1821. Sixth, John Fairley, Brabham BT 1119. Seventh, Barry Cannell, Brabham BT 11A. Eighth, Rudy Friedrichs, Cooper T53. Ninth, Michael O'Brien, Brabham BT 14. And 10th, Joe Colasacco, Ferrari 1512. That's the top 10. 11th, Ben Tilley, Lotus 18. 12th, Tony Wood, second of the front engine cars, Maserati Technic. 13th, Tim De Silva, Lotus 24. 14th, Julian Bronson, third of the front engine cars, the Scarab Offenhauser. In 15th place, Mark Daniels, Cooper T45. 16th, Tom Dark with his Cooper T51. 17th, Steve Hart, Cooper T51. 18th Richard Tarling in the Assegai, 19th Marino Franchitti in the Maserati 250F, and 20th Andrew Beaumont with his Lotus 18. So we better go to Alan and have our podium, Alan, please, or double podium.
Yeah, thank you, Ditch, because we've got 6 drivers that are standing by. 2 podiums coming up for the Gallet Trophy for Prix 66 Grand Prix cars. And first of all, we'll get the overall top 3 drivers onto the podium, and we will do so in reverse order. In 3rd place, number 79, Michael Gans. Congratulations, Michael. Well done. Onto the 3rd step of the podium at the far end. On the 2nd step of the podium, number 18, Sam Wilson. Well done, Sam. Congratulations, gets a nice cheer from the crowd. And then onto the top step of the podium, number 10, Will Nuttall. Now, he is joined by Amelia, who is 5.5 months and is cute as a button. There we go, that's our winner on the podium. Delighted to say that we have the marketing director of Superguard, David Patterson, here, who'll make the presentation. So over to the far end, if you please, David. And first of all, make the presentation to Michael Gans, who just came up with a very amusing line when he met Amelia, who's 5.5 months. I'll tell you what that line was in a moment. In 2nd place, Sam Wilson, about to receive the 2nd place trophy from David Patterson from Superguard. And then to Will Nuttall, if he's got a hand free. No, leave the trophy on the floor. Just take the garland of victory around the neck of Will Nuttall, everybody. Congratulations. And he can hold the trophy up high as well. Well done. Congratulations. Amelia, who's 5.5 months, will enjoy looking back at these photographs in many years to come. Can we have all the drivers, please, onto the top step of the podium? So a nice photograph of all 4 of you. And as they pose for the cameras, big smiles all around. And then we'll get a quick word with Will. There we go. We'll hop down. That's a nice picture for the family album, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice, very nice. It was a tough race. I made it hard for myself at the start. I dropped down to 6th or 7th, I think. But no, really good, really good.
And now we press on with the front engine cars top 3. And then to our winner, the garland of victory around the neck of Miles Griffiths. And the big trophy as well. The front engine podium, everyone. Smiles all around. And then we'll have all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them getting together on the top step of the podium for the Are you coming? Says Tony. Yes, of course they're coming. And Littlewood holding up the trophy for the cameras. Again, another lovely shot for the family album. And the chance to get a quick word with our winner after the photographs are complete of our front engine podium. And just need the trophy a little bit lower. There we go. Miles Griffiths, well, goodness me, it could have been a top step of the overall podium.
Well, that's what we were hoping for, but it didn't work out that way. So
Could have made a perfect day, what with this morning in Formula 2.
yeah, absolutely. We'll try again tomorrow.
Okay, conditions changeable every time you go on circuit.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have a dry one tomorrow. And
A bit of sunshine, now we've got dark clouds again.
yeah, bit of rain coming, I think. So these boys will have fun.
Miles, congratulations. That's our front engine podium for the Gallet Trophy for Prix 66 Grand Prix cars here at the Silverstone Classic.